In construction, the weather's been spectacular.
It has been. We're kind of getting close to winding up their operations for the year, the major construction, and with the weather, it's we're on a good schedule. You know, you can do construction into November. Occasionally, it gets late and even go after Thanksgiving, but really, it's not ideal in terms of the weather. So we're in good shape to get done on time and to move along. But it
Awesome.
feels good to not have to worry about the impending change of seasons. You know.
Yeah, I remember that one year where you were doing the traffic circle at Greenwood and
Oh yeah, down there, Greenwood and Jackson.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was too cold to do the asphalt by the time it was ready. Plus, there was a strike.
I
and a
would say
shortage.
really what drove that was the strike.
Yeah.
That was the year the operators union was having some difficulties with one of the paving companies, and yeah, it didn't get paid. And then by the time they were able, you know, they had dealt with it, the season was gone. You know, it was too cold. It wasn't, and it was wet, and basically we didn't want to take the chance on paving something in subpar conditions and then having to live with it for a long time.
Well, it's held up.
Yeah,
it
when you do something, I do it right, because what we do, we have to live with for a long time.
and people have
Yeah.
memories.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it was kind of like one of those things where we didn't you know, there's no compromising on that.
we lived through it.
Yeah, we got through it. It was bad at the time, but then we got through it.
Well, today we wanted to look at some of the projects that are in the, I think, nearing end stage. Let's start with Biddle, which
Yeah, pretty much the only thing we have, we can show the clips, but really what we have left right now is local street work and local water main replacement work. You know, all our work on our major streets this year are done. So probably for most people, they're not being impacted by their traffic patterns aren't being impacted. The most people being impacted by these jobs we got still going on right now are just local people who live on these streets. You know, on Biddle, that was one of those where we replaced the sewer and the water main and then rebuilt the road. You can tell they're out there working. They've already repaved the road. Now we just have to adjust the manholes up and the valves up to the top of the pavement so we can get into them when we need to. But you know, you're just talking about wrapping things up at this point. You know.
nice. Yeah, you're right. It's a low volume neighborhood street, but
Yeah, I mean it's important to the people who live there, but most people in our county or community wouldn't even notice that it's happening.
it looks nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be good for the neighborhood.
It'll be good for that new apartment complex that's going up across the street pretty much.
Yeah, and we've done Greenwood we just talked about that project.
Yeah.
That was, I remember we were having the meetings for that during pandemic. We were all meeting outside, and it was like one of the first meetings we had, and that was back when you were supposed to stay away, 6 feet away and
Yeah.
everything. So that's only 5 years old. Things are really teed up nice for that apartment. I mean, the park got rebuilt over there in the corner. It's a beautiful park, and then the streets are redone, and the water main and the sewers are done. So in terms of being ready to service it and be reliable, it's ready to go.
Yeah, and a couple eyesores were torn down as well, so the whole
Yeah.
neighborhood looking better.
Yeah, it's really that. You remember our community development did a great job down there in the corner of Morel and Greenwood.
Mhm.
There was that dilapidated auto repair place where they used to sell used cars out of and stuff. Remember, that was a pretty big eyesore, and
Yeah.
it was nice that was able to be dealt with finally. Just sitting there empty and deteriorating, it was not good.
I bet once the apartment building's up, that those various parcels still for sale in that neighborhood will probably, I bet they'll go fast.
Yeah, I mean, it just makes everything look nicer, right?
Yeah.
Between the improvements that have been made, the extraction or the removal of that dilapidated building, the whole, and the streets getting paved, makes the whole neighborhood a whole different place. And also, you know, that's one of those streets where we added that street lighting. So when you're driving into town, and especially at night, you really notice that lighting is very
Yeah.
nice. It changed the face of that neighborhood also.
Yeah, it's a entryway to the center
Yeah.
cities. All right, now let's go a little bit south to McBride, from 4th to 1st.
Yeah, that's one of our down in our residential neighborhoods, and basically that is just replacing the water main. We're not doing anything other than the water main down there. Of course, when I say not anything else, obviously whenever we replace water main, we're replacing lead service lines
Mhm.
into houses. So they're going into each house and running a new water line in there to get everyone off the lead pipes, and then got the water main replaced. At this point, I think they've got a few houses to tie in, and they'll start putting things back together and getting ready to patch the pavement and put the pavement back together where it was removed.
Well, it looks like we're gonna have, a few more days in nice weather, so.
Yeah, like I said, we're October 10th. We've been in a lot worse shape in terms of getting things done
Yeah.
than now. So yeah, it'll be done by the end of the month.
Well, Sherry Valkachuk will be happy. That's her neighborhood.
Who's that?
Sherry Valkachuk.
Okay.
Yeah, she's one of the neighborhood. I think she's like the director of neighborhood improvements.
Okay.
So I'm sure you'll meet her if you haven't.
Okay.
All right, one more project. Dwight from Chapin to Tyson.
Yeah, as you can tell, like we talked about, these are all neighborhood jobs. They're scattered around the town, around the city. In general, when we're doing work like this, it kind of gets spread out throughout the city. And this is over on the east side. And again, it's just replacing the water main, getting those lead service pipes out, making the water main an appropriate size so we can provide them better service, and then putting it back together.
I was up there a month or so ago on my bike, and I was surprised with how extensive this particular project is. It's a pretty long stretch of street.
And the driver on all of these last three we looked at is the water mains that were in the ground are significantly undersized. They're 4-inch water mains. Our current standard size is 8-inch, but they've also deteriorated. So the people who live there, they're dealing with low water pressure. Sometimes they're dealing with water quality issues. Sediments and stuff get stirred up pretty easy. So that's the driver of these projects, and then has the added benefit of getting that lead service pipe out.
So will they notice improved water pressure when they take a shower?
Yeah, they should.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Everyone wants strong water pressure in the
Yeah.
shower.
Yeah.
Now, next year, how are we set? What are you looking at? Do you know what you're doing?
I do. I don't have a list in front of me, but we're doing enough where I would need a list to tell you everything we're doing.
Really?
It's going to be a big year. We're doing a lot of work. MDOT is also doing a job here to replace the bridge at Cooper Street over the Grand River. And that's going to have a major impact. It's not going to be like these that are just impact the local people. That's going to impact everybody. In terms of driving south out of town, or even just using the detours to go around it. That's going to be big, but we're working with them. They're working with them to have the water main replaced under that bridge and get under the railroad. But that's a big job. But at the same time, the city itself is doing a lot of jobs. We've got a lot of grant money to replace our transmission water mains. Those are the pipes that transport water from the water treatment plant up to the towers and into the neighborhoods. So those are big jobs. We're doing a lot more of those 4-inch water main replacements in the local neighborhoods. We're replacing about 6 or 7 signals around town next year. So it's the bad part of this is it's going to be hard to drive anywhere without running into construction. The good part is we're getting a lot done, a lot of much needed stuff that needs to be done.
Well, that's it. We want nicer everything, but there's some inconvenience to get to that point.
Well, and obviously we coordinate, we try to schedule to minimize the impact, and we want to make sure we're never driving detouring traffic through another construction zone.
Oh my gosh, it could be worse.
Yeah.
We could live in Metro Detroit. What about, now, wasn't MDOT doing two bridges or just one?
This year, or I'm sorry, not this year. In 2025, they'll be working on the bridge on Cooper over the Grand River, and then in 2026, they'll be rehabbing the bridge down there by the Grand River Brewery.
Oh, okay.
Over the Grand River on Glick.
All right.
So yes, they are doing two, but they're going to do one and then the other.
Got it.
Again, for keeping traffic flowing, right?
Yeah.
If you're doing both at the same time, you really
Can't.
have a hard time people getting anywhere on those trunk line roads.
Well, it was tough because they did both railroad trestles at the same time.
Right.
So, we lived through that too.
We made it.
All right.
Once every 100 years, right?
Yeah, really. Oh, they look great. Appreciate you guys doing all the work you're doing, and thanks for coming in today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You bet. Our city engineer, City of Jackson, Troy White. I've got a few things going on this weekend. October is a busy month for events. I've got a couple ideas for you to consider in just a couple minutes.